There we go. Welcome to In the Spotlight. This is your girl Lisa, the Baltimore Paparazzi, Hard Body Radio. This week is a little bit different than what I'm used to doing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I do have Hayzie here, who, yeah, you know, Quagmire. You know, that's one of my daughter's favorite songs. But I have he's partnered up with Chet Weaver.
That's me.
And Kindred, I cannot pronounce his last name.
Kymari.
I thought so, but I wasn't real sure. I didn't want to mess up nobody's name. For an event that's happening December 16th.
Yeah.
Which is actually wrestling and music combined.
Yes.
Which is like when Jay approached me with this, and I was like, yo, yeah, that sounds dope as shit. Because I do know that I've seen, I used to be a big WWF fan, not WWE, right. WWF, TNT, WCW. Right. I go all the way back.
There you go.
You know, I go all the way back to the original Four Horsemen. And yeah, so, you know, when Steve Austin had blonde hair. So like I said, you know, my father, I used to watch wrestling with him. And, you know, they come out to music. You know, and I've never been to a wrestling match, so I don't know if they actually have entertainment in between, you know. Or,
but yeah, that's where we actually step in at. I had the idea. I mean, I've been involved in wrestling 2 years now. Kindred's been in about 10 years. So just had this idea of putting the show together, and then me and Jay Hayzie basically, you know, grew up together. So I was like, hey, he's heavily involved in the music scene. Let's get him involved and put together an entertainment show. So it's not just a wrestling show. It's not just a music show. It's an entertainment show.
Right. And I've seen it's hip hop and rock, you know, so it's not just one genre, you know, like some people would probably think wrestling, rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like I said, I used to watch it when it got to the point to where I was pretty much like I knew what was going to happen. You know, like I was like, oh, it's like okay, well, this is what's going to happen. He's going to do this, and then he's going to do this, and then he's, you know, like almost like I knew what was going to happen. I stopped watching it. It got a little redundant. It got a little stupid. Yeah. The storylines were just like, seriously,
right.
So, you know, like I said, I've been watching wrestling like since, like I said, TNT. People like TNT. You talking about the TV station? Right. The cable station? No, I'm talking about TNT. You know, Dusty Rhodes, you know, all the old timers. So, and I haven't, like I said, I haven't been watching. I do know like there's Ring of Honor that comes on Channel 54, I think.
Yeah.
I haven't even watched it. My son has watched it or whatever. But so this is like, it's new to me, but it's old to me, but it's new to me, I guess. Mm-hmm. So the aspect of having the music intertwined in that is, you know, going to be very, very different. It's a lane that nobody has traveled, but let's see how many travel that lane afterwards.
Exactly.
So let everybody know, Jay, like your background as far as, and then we'll go down the line.
All right, well, of course, I'm Jay Hayzie, 1/3 of Team Jacob. We still exist. We got some new stuff covered, by the way. But my background is, you know, I've always been with the music. It got to the point we was doing shows, then I started venturing into managing and doing background stuff. So I linked up with my partner, and he came with this idea. It was, we compared it to WWE. It was what they haven't done. Mm-hmm. As we all know, Vince McMahon owned everything for us wrestling. If it's wrestling, he pretty much owned it. So that was the one thing that he paid attention to, was like, we never have a music act. What if we was to put that all together? So
now I do know, like at WWE, they had like they brought artists out and be part of the storylines, you know, and stuff like that. But as far as having a performance, you know, like when the wrestlers are coming out, you know, and stuff like that. I've never seen anything like that. So, Chet, what is your, like, you say you've been in dealing with wrestling and all, what is your, like?
Yeah, well, lifetime wrestling fan, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been doing it about 2 years now, and I've seen what goes on behind the scenes and what gets over and what doesn't really get over. And one thing you do is you go to a show, and it's basically the same thing every time.
Mm-hmm.
You go there, people wrestle, you like who you like, you don't, and then you go home. You know what I mean? But if you give people a performance, if you let, you know, a group or two rock out half the show, and then you have wrestling the other half, then it brings the people from the music scene over into the wrestling scene, and vice versa. That's why we're trying to stick with a lot of local talent and get that built up. And also, when we say it's not just wrestling, it's not just music, it's definitely entertainment. Every month we may not have music. We may bring in a comedian or something like that. Just something other than just your plain old wrestling show or your plain old music show.
Right. Kindred, what's your background as far as what's going on? Because I'm assuming you're on the wrestling side, because I don't know you from any kind of music side, you know.
Well, I'm kind of on the wrestling side, but no, I've been doing it for about 10 years. This is going on my 10-year mark, and for what I've seen in wrestling, it's usually on TV, it's redundant. It's the same thing. Nobody's actually, especially in the indies, nobody's actually went out their way to kind of make a bigger show in this region. I would say like that. You have your other ones out there in like you know, Cali on the West Coast. They do different shows too. Not so much of what we're doing, but they do have like big extravagant shows. You have like WrestleCade, and you have like WrestleFest and all that stuff like that they do. But nobody's actually done a show where you have 3 different genres of entertainment coming together to do one massive show. So that's what we're trying to actually do here. Wrestling, for me, it's great, hard. Sometimes you get annoyed by it, and then sometimes this is the best thing in the world. Sometimes it's just a way to kind of get away from the world for a couple hours of the day, you know what I mean? But I line up with these guys, and Jay's a really good artist, so, and I know him for a while with wrestling and refereeing with him, and really good job that he does too, and put our minds together, and then we got that.
Like I said, it's very different. So the wrestlers, where are they all from? Are they from the local area, or
a lot of them are from here?
Yeah,
Kindred's from here. Another headliner we got is Ruckus. He's been a big name in Japan, here. You name it, people know Ruckus.
There's people that know Ruckus here. Even on the rap side, there's people that know Ruckus.
And then on the music side, one of the first people, Jay.
Oh, you already know Billy Live.
Exactly. one of the first people he named, Billy Live.
Wisdom Court. Like and this is why I did that. When he came to me with this, and this as a promoter, and I don't do too much for us the promoter side, but we've been in this business long enough to know when you're a promoter. It's like if I'm doing a hip hop show, and let's say I want to do a turned up hip hop show. I wouldn't book no artist that how can we put it? We got different genres to hip hop.
Yeah.
So you got your lyricists, you got your they even got hip hop and rock combined.
Right.
Like it was, you know who the artists are here. That's
yeah. So what you're saying is you wouldn't.
If I got Blizzard and what's my man name, Guy Grams and all, that would be a specific type show for the type of music that they do.
Right.
Now if you take like a Team Jacob, the Spence.
That's the turn up.
Yeah. Like right, and then you might have something where you got something like it's different genres. So a lot of times, what people do is just try to mix all these different people with different genres, and it don't go. When he came with this, it was who do I know that pack out a show, get people to come out, and they do different type of music that will fit this event.
Right.
Wisdom Court.
Right.
So the first person, I know Billy Live. I've done business with Billy Live. I've done business with China Made. Let's go rap to them. So it was talking to them. That was easy. So shout out to Billy.
Right, because Billy does different stuff. He's been doing shows at skate parks and so, you know, he does stuff in different areas and that's one thing that really why I vibe with Billy like I do is because he does stuff that's out of the box. Right. You know what I mean? So, and you know me as used to throw showcases. That, you know, I know who can sell tickets and I know who's got a following. So definitely, like, that was definitely a good look when, you know, it was like Billy. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Because, you know, that's right down his lane of doing something totally, you know, totally different. So who else? You have Rebel Nation?
Yeah. How
in the world did you get my Rebel Nation? I have not seen them in so long. I'm going to tell you, Rebel Nation is one of my favorite bands.
Part because when I was looking for a rock group. It was the first one we went with. It was they cool, but no, not quite what we were looking for. So you referred me to Frank Lewis. Mm-hmm. I talked to Frank Lewis. Frank Lewis was like, "How about Rebel Nation?" So we sat down, we talked, and it was okay, cool. I gotta get back with him so we get to Pittsburgh Street because but. That's that. Like once that was.
Have you ever seen them perform?
Yes, remember the Crown Awards they performed. Okay. I mean, it was a couple spots that I've been at, a couple Billy Live shows that I've been to outside of us performing. We was just there supporting. Right. I've caught them. So as soon as he said that, it was. Why didn't I think of them the first time? Right. So it was.
They're like rock, but they got the hip hop. Yeah. You know, Jade and Mikey McCracken. Yeah. Like They give a great. I was just talking about them the other day. It's crazy because I seen the flyer and I seen the names. I was like Rebel Nation. Oh, okay. And then just as soon as I seen it, I'm an old grandmother, so everything goes out of my head. It just goes out of my head. But I was just talking about them the other day. How like they're one of my favorite like bands. And so is Billy's bringing the band? Like he's bringing Superman on the drums and everybody.
We booked him for the hip hop part, and then like Rebel Nation came afterwards. So it was like when we last talked to Billy and I said that it was he'll probably
still bring. Yeah. But and I'm trying to see who is that that's the only two artists that you have performing. And then the rest of these are wrestlers.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell me about some of the wrestlers.
Tell me because like I said, it's crazy because I might have to see if you know. I have one of my friends on Facebook. I know him from doing music, but apparently he's switched over to wrestling. He's not from here. I'm not sure exactly where Ghost is from, but I will look it up. And that's what the first thing when he was telling me about that, I thought about him because I seen him posting about wrestling matches and this, that, and I was like, yo, you went from rapping, like, but he was like one of those. How can I put it? I don't know, almost like a twisted, insane, kind of like, not really dark, but just like, it's not your usual hip hop to being a wrestler. So it's crazy.
Interesting transition.
Yes, very. So yeah, but so like I said, let me know about some of these, because like I said, I'm not familiar.
One of the ones we really wanted to get on the show, we needed a real strong female band person. And so I figured she would fit the bill for it. I've been helping Chet and Jay find some really good wrestlers here that we have. So we have like Crazy Shay. He breathes fire and stuff like that.
Oh my goodness!
This is coming from a person that had no knowledge of these guys. Right. And sitting with Willie, like I said, me and Willie grew up together. So the one thing that we both been into, me with the music, him baseball and wrestling. He was baseball games. But when he pointed these guys out, my face, like outside of Kindred, I mean, there's Ruckus. Like everybody that's on that flyer, I sat back, I watched the footage of past matches, and when I see these guys are outrageous for the stuff that they can pull off.
Well, you just said something about spitting fire, and I was like, oh, okay.
Crazy Shay is what his name says. Yeah, he is crazy. He's a great guy, but he is crazy.
I look at it like this. How can I put this? Just look at your favorite artists, like far as local, and there's like a few because you deal with enough of these people, you gain a few favorites. Like with this, it's no different than that. It was watching these guys and like the like they real athletes. Like this
right. Because well, no matter what anybody says about it being fake, I understand the whole storyline thing, but you have to be some kind of an athlete to be able to endure being thrown around a ring, being jumped on, being flipped on.
Tables, chairs, ladders, everything else.
I used to ride, what was that one league? What was it? ECW?
Yes.
Like, they would bring microwaves and stuff and throw, like, and I'm like, you're telling me, the storylines may be fake. Right. Yeah, they all know the outcome of who was going to win, but to get to that point, yo, I'm sorry, you ain't beating me with nothing.
At the end of the day, it's all entertaining.
Right.
Like, I'm like, you can know the ins and outs behind it, but when you sit back and you watch it and you looking at the work that these guys really put in, this is going to be a show right here.
Yeah.
That's all I can say, man. Like, this, we got a dope lineup.
A lot of up and coming guys. Like, tell them about JT.
We got JT Funk. He's a really good guy coming up on the East Coast too. He's doing his thing, young guy. Full of potential. We got we had the Gunners. Tyreno, he got a little injured before the show, so we got a replacement for him. Make sure that the match goes well. We have Eric Chappell with us. We got what's his name? The Hollander Hustlers here. We're gonna have them on there. They're guys from Delaware. John and Ray. Yeah, we got those two guys too. They're really into the whole African ancestry, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So they're really good with that, and it's a whole bunch of people we got. So we just say, like, you got to come to the show, find out what's going to happen, because we're not going to give you all the
right.
And we have also Sahara 7. She's really good too. She's the NCW's women's champion right now. So and they're based in Joppa. So
I really believe that the female wrestlers are worse. They are like they are like the most meanest wrestlers. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, I grew up on wrestling. That was something that my father and I had together, and so we would watch wrestling. And like I said, back in then it was like what was her name? She's passed on now. Moolah.
Yeah.
She was dirty. Yes. But so that was like who we had, and then WWE had brought in all the little, the little fine looking girls with the little bikini things on them. Yeah, don't let them fool you, because let me tell you, they are mean, and like they're grabbing, throwing each other around. I'm like, oh my goodness. But this is going to be I'm really excited about this, because this is something so different.
Yeah.
And you know what? Don't be surprised. Later on in the future, you see a few artists, rap artists. There's a few people that I talked to, and there's very few. I ain't really let too many people know what he was doing, but the few that deal with me closely, and it was, yo, man, such and such. I mean, we rap, we watch wrestling. We want to do that. So it's like we like it's for what we doing. It's a lot of stuff that's in the works, but like I said, don't be surprised. You might see.
Oh, like I said, the artist. His name, he went by Ghost, and I have to look him up on Facebook. His name is Christopher something. I can't remember, but like I said, all of a sudden I seen him posting up about wrestling and championship belts and the championship and this, that, and that. And I'm like, hold up, what did I miss?
This is the whole, when he got to showing me like the background of it, then it was like, who was it? No, when he was like, yo, go watch Glow. Like, I actually sat down and watched it, and that was on women's wrestling.
Glow?
Yeah.
I used to watch Glow when it was not on the Netflix, but the real Glow with the big girl. I forget what her name was, but she was the big girl. She also acted in a couple TV shows.
With the whole kicker was when I watched it, I'm like, I wouldn't mind dipping that, even if it's just behind the scenes, just having a hand. Like, that's a whole another venture. That's
not only that,
cool. Like,
there's a following.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like
there's
a following for, because you named Blizzard. Before Blizzard is a big wrestling fan.
They talked to Blizzard. They talked, because he was one of the first people I had recommended. And future events, he will be on. Like, he'll be at the next one. I'm going to see to that.
Right, you know, like
he's a huge wrestler. Him, Jay McGraw. I remember they went to the match. I just seen Jay McGraw last night.
I know. I seen where he had tagged you and said he had a nice conversation.
Nice conversation.
I was like, oh, that's what's up.
Also, what we're doing is, I mean, we're keeping it inner city. So we're at Gentleman's 10, you know, right in the heart of West Baltimore, and
and if you're going to drink. I suggest to buy a jar.
Get the jars. Hold on, if you gonna get some wings, get the G10 wings. Get the G10 wings.
No.
Oh man, you gotta get
they done went up on me because no.
Yeah, so we'll be full bar concessions there. We'll have tables with merchandise, so you can get some of the fans, wrestlers merchandise.
The toy drive.
Yep.
We're going to toy drive. We
always
gotta do something.
So I'm a belt collector also, a wrestling belt collector. And what we're doing, because it is so close to Christmas, everyone who brings an unopened toy, we're going to give them a raffle ticket. During intermission, we'll do a raffle, and I'm giving away one of my championship belts.
Oh, okay. That'd be worth it right there.
Yes.
I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, that would mean, because somebody else would be like, well, what's that mean? Like, no, that's something special because
exactly, and you're also helping the cause.
Who still watch wrestling? Like I grew up watching. There's a lot of us that grew up watching wrestling. That's a childhood pastime of ours. So like. That'd be awesome. Let me had a situation. I go to a wrestling match, somebody pass me a belt. Man,
let me tell you, Jay Hayzie gets a hold of a belt. The next show he does, he's gonna have that belt.
Hold on, that's the crazy part. We talked about that. We got a video we get ready to shoot, and like that's the crazy part because this video is gonna be crazy. I will have one of those belts on, like for how the video is gonna go. Like I ain't gonna put too much details, but it's gonna be crazy. But yeah, you know me well, Lisa. I will rock
Indeed, because like I said, I think so. Right now, I see it's general admissions $20, first two rows $25, and then the VIP is $35.
Yes.
And how can everybody get the tickets and all? I see, but I'm
all you gotta do if you don't see the flyer in the streets, you can just hit us on Facebook.
Yep.
You know, chat Weaver, Kendrick Kymari, Jay Washington, aka Jay Hayzie.
And the VIP, because I asked, it's not for myself, but I asked this for like other people because it never seemed. Let me tell you, I post something up on Facebook because what I do is I'm a director of traffic. That's what I call myself. Somebody posts up that they like, okay, the Halloween, Spielberg had posted up that he was holding Halloween special videos. Mm-hmm. So I just shared it. Everybody in my inbox, well, how long is it going to be? Well, this, that, and the third. Is this real? I don't know. Hit him up. So when I go to post this stuff, people going to ask me 999 questions.
All you got to do is direct them
right.
to me.
But the VIP.
For the VIP, we have a whole sectioned area, which is raised up on the stage. So you'll have a perfect view of the stage. We'll have some attractive females there, so once you get to your seats, unless you got to go to the bathroom,
you ain't got to get up.
You won't have to walk to get your food or anything. They'll be right there.
Well, damn, that's worth $35 right there. Now I ain't got to get the hell up and go get nothing.
And if you have a table or something, want to throw in some bottles, so a couple drinks will be on us.
No. So is this the first event? This is the first event that you've thrown like this?
Yes, this is the first.
Yeah. Well, the first of many, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you've thrown other wrestling events though?
No, we've actually just worked other wrestling events.
Oh, okay.
I work for about 4 companies right now between here, Delaware, Jersey, Virginia, and I've been reffing about 2 years.
Oh, so you're a referee?
Yes, I am.
So do you get knocked out sometimes too?
Yes.
Kendrick said, "Oh yeah, that happens."
It happens quite frequently. I got into it training to be a wrestler, and just somehow got into refereeing one day, and I was good at it, and I was like, "Hey, I can make some money doing this too." So. Little less wear and tear on my body.
Right. Yeah.
I'd rather take a bump one time during the match than 20.
Right. Most definitely.
But eventually I'll be in the ring also.
Yeah, like I said, because like I said, I like.
No.
Oh, you did.
What did I miss?
Oh no, because they had an event last week. I did like a live video where I showed like we was setting up for or whatever. But
last week we were at Baltimore Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
Give them a shout out.
Yeah.
Where was that? Where is
That
that?
was out in Millersville. That's another local company who's up and coming, trying to do big
How is it out in Millersville and Baltimore? That's crazy.
That's because they just moved there.
Oh, okay.
They just recently got that spot. It used to be up in Brooklyn.
Okay.
That pavilion. I think.
Burns?
No, was it? It was the pavilion. It's in.
Ring of Honor actually used to have their
sometimes
shows
too.
there.
So I know they're in Brooklyn part. So, but they moved to Millersville recently. So
you know what this whole wrestling scene reminds me of. It reminds me of the Baltimore scene because I had no idea that there was even a wrestling scene. When I first moved to Baltimore, I didn't know that there was even a music scene.
I didn't need.
And that's the thing. We're trying to put that on the map, and like I said, incorporate the music into it, and just bring a whole bunch of fans together, turning them out to both sides of it, wrestling and music and whatever. Other entertainment. We're open to all entertainment. Like I said,
right.
They take care of the wrestling side. I handle the entertainment side.
Right, and because it's just like, because I'm sitting here and you're like talking about it, just had an event, this, that, and the third, and I'm sitting here going, I've never even heard of anything like. And it just reminds me of how our music scene is. Like, there's no notoriety of what's going on, and there's a lot going on.
Yeah, check this out. I went to the first show. I got there a little late. I mean, we was busy ripping and running. But let him tell it. The show, it was a bad show. You know what I mean? From his perspective,
right.
It was a bad show. It wasn't ran right. Like, they know the whole story now.
Right.
Me coming into it, and I'm like, all right, I'm just here to be entertained, see two dudes beat each other up. And
right.
It was a dope ass show. Who was that wrestler? That was the what's his name? The guy with the red dreads. The one that won.
Pope and TJ.
Yeah, like
really good show.
We managed to catch that match. That was the last match for the night, and it was dope. Like, I'm listening to them guys complain about the crowd and how it was ran, and I'm looking like, let
me tell you from my point of view, I understand that completely. From my point of view, when I was doing the shows at 5 Seasons, like everybody's come up to me afterwards and even days later, they said that show was awesome. And I'm looking like, are you crazy? Like, these artists were getting on my nerves. They was boohooing and crying about going on with this time and that time and this, that, and everything that happens. Like, but being behind the scenes, you make everything look good.
Yeah.
You know, you have to. And that's why I say, when you said it, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Like, this is supposed to happen this way, this way, this way. Right. And then nothing happens the way it's supposed to be. But that crowd doesn't know that.
Well, and that's the whole kick. If the crowd don't know, that's the whole thing. It's our perception. It's what we want it to be. But the crowd see it. They don't know our vision. They just see what we. I'm
gonna give you another aspect of it. It's like you being on stage and you're performing a song. They don't know that song, and you fuck up the words. They don't know that you fucked up unless you tell them. Yeah. Unless you tell them. Exactly. You know, it's the same thing. Like, that's how when you say they're like, no, everything was screwed up. This, that, and the third, blah, 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 and you're like, but I thought it was a good show.
And also, in wrestling nowadays, there's a big discrepancy. Like, we're talking about older wrestling and things like that, and that's the things I grew up on. So that's what I'm accustomed to, but nowadays it's like a whole different style of wrestling. Everything's a lot of high flying flips and
like Rey Mysterio doing when he started doing when he would run, he'd grab a hold of the rope and he'd swing between the ropes and come.
619.
They do that.
Yeah.
What you see on and like I said, I'm not into the wrestling world. I'm just being introduced to it. I watch wrestling coming up, so this is like my first venture getting behind the scenes. To sit back, go to Will's house, and we sit back and we watching footage, and he's teaching me the lingo. Like, they teaching me, and I'm watching this stuff, and I'm like, he just did that. These are local, this is local talent. And I'm like, Doug, these dudes supposed to be on WWE,
right?
Ring of Honor, and this is your local talent. No different than the music side. You showcase you highlight your comedians, you highlight your rock bands, you highlight your rap artists. Like, these dudes really put in work, so it's like to sit and watch that. Like,
what we're trying to do, especially with this, we're trying to create a different lane. Like in wrestling, you have just the usual indie show where you come there, you get like 8 matches, maybe 8, 9 matches, sometimes more than that, and that's all you get. You get a bunch of matches, you may get an intermission in between that, and that's pretty much all you get, you know. But we're trying to do something extra different from every other indie show we've been to, you know. So while we're having the bands and stuff here, whatever, and the rap group and stuff like that, that's giving people more. You're pretty much paying one price for 2 shows.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm looking at the general admission, which is $20, and for everything that they're going to be getting, that's actually that's well over worth it. You know what I mean? Like, you got shows here, local shows, $10, $15 at the door, you know, stuff like that.
Sales $4, $15 at the door, $20 at the door.
Yeah, so
you know, last night.
So you know, the $20 that just for general admission is well worth the wrestling and having the entertainment.
Exactly.
And that way, you know, and people don't understand. People don't get it that you're getting more for less, because if they were to go to the arena and watch WWE,
And here's my discrepancy with people like that. Like, you would pay WWE, say $100 ticket, maybe $150, depending. Matter of fact, you pay thousands to sit on the floor,
right?
You know, indie shows are about $20, $15, $10 sometimes, and people make a big fuss about the prices.
Oh,
you know what I mean? You know?
We have the same thing in the music side, and it's crazy because me, like, I'm a photographer, but I'm also a supporter of the music scene. I started out being just a supporter, and my thing was, like, I see people complaining about paying. I don't want to pay $10 and then I have to listen to all these whack rappers. It's not about listening to whack rappers. It's about supporting your person that you come to see.
I'm going to speak on that right there, because we just had this debate last night. I go to a lot of these shows, and it's a lot of people that see me at shows and I'm not performing. They see Chaos there and she's not performing. They see Hypno there, he's not performing. We sit back and we watch. Like, I haven't been to a whack-ass show in a long-ass time. So the question is, are you complaining because you really don't have the money, you just don't want to pay? Or, like, you got people, they just don't have the money, don't want to pay. But, you know what I mean, they really mean well to support. And it was a conversation with my homeboy had. And I was pushing ticket sales. I'm like, look, I ain't going to throw everything at you at once, because we got shows coming up and we got this show. So I pick and choose. Like, look, if you can't make this show, at least make the rest of the show.
Right.
And it was, I don't want to pay that. And I'm like, Doug, like...
But then have somebody be at soundstage and the ticket be $35.
But you see them at a guy
and they're gonna pay, and they'll pay that.
And that's the crazy part. I'm like, yo, like, you see these locals, like, prime example. We watched a lot of people, Team Cremate, who don't like Team Cremate right now. Like, we came in at the same time.
Right.
I'm like, yo, to sit back and watch them come up, and it's like, yo, what can you say bad about those guys? They put the work in, you know what I mean? When you come to a show, they give you your money.
Right.
They're worth paying to go see. No different than these acts here. They put the time in, they put the effort in, they rehearse, like, yo, they giving you your money's worth.
I think I think people just, they don't have the money, or they're just salty for some reason.
I'm just salty.
Because, like I said, like, you know, like, okay, the Locks was just here, and it was like $35 for the tickets.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the show. I wanted to go to the show, but my money was like, yeah, right, you're not there.
So my money tied up into this venture and bills. So it's a lot of stuff I be wanting to make, but I'm 100 with artists. If I can't make it, I can't make it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So,
but that don't mean I ain't supporting. So,
you know, I would venture to say that these wrestlers would probably say pretty much the same things that a lot of the artists are saying. And it's crazy how two different things can have the same issues and same problems.
Man, look, me and Chet just had this conversation, and we came to the conclusion. This is all showbiz, whether it's music, whether you're acting, whether you're wrestling, whatever type of entertainment it is, it's all showbiz. It's no different than the next genre or whatever entertainment
right.
It's all the same. You got to struggle and then you got to prosper. You got to go through all the struggles to get to that prosperity.
Right.
But you got to start somewhere.
Right.
And my thing is, and this is another thought process behind this whole venture, balance.
Right.
Everything, whether it's a life situation or whatever the case may be, balance. I think we have balance in ticket prices. I think we have balance in entertainment. I think we have balance in venue. And I think it'll take off.
I mean, like I said, I think it's a really, it's a really unique, something different. I like different things anyway.
Right.
I like things to be, I don't like the same old thing. And when things kind of they get monotonous, like we talked about with the WWE, and how, sometimes to me, the WWE had turned into a soap opera.
Right.
Yes.
You can miss two or three episodes of WWE, and then you could just pick right back up on everything the next time you watched it.
I don't even follow the storyline because it's like I know what's going on because I talk to these guys.
Right.
Like and like I said, WWF. I'm gonna continue to watch when I get the chance, but it's times where I stop watching, and it's more so when I don't watch it for the drama. I'm watching just to see what the slickest moves is and to watch, the ass whipping take place.
Right.
So,
and see, again, that's where that whole balance comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
Because, somebody like Jay would be watching for the moves or something like that. Whereas though somebody like me would be watching more for like an old school feel of a strict storyline and more of a brawl or a battle,
right?
As opposed to like high flying.
And that's the whole kicker. Everybody watches it for different reasons,
right?
It's like your reason might be one thing. Another person might be one, and then a third person, it might be something else.
And that brings us back to that balance.
Right, the whole balance thing. It's all in what's entertaining to you. You can get so much out of that one thing in different perspectives. Like it's like you just explained it. All right, I'm gonna watch it because I like the storyline. I'm gonna watch it because I like to watch people get hurt.
People gotta understand too. Like you have people that's driving miles and miles away,
right?
To get paid to do something that they like doing, plus entertaining people. Like we say, oh, it's $20, it's $35, it's $25, but really, it's these people putting their bodies on the line. It's their time they perfected in their craft to put in the show for these people, and people gotta. I think people need to really start supporting local performances and stuff like that. I mean, you can do celebrity stuff like that, but how many times they actually want to support local talent?
You never know, because we done watched this happen. We done seen people start at the bottom, like really start at the bottom. And again, Team Creed, because I'm so proud of them. I'm proud of them guys. So shout out to Team Creed, mate. Bro, that's like I watch battles, all that, but it's just using them as an example. You watch people start, and they get to a certain point, and it's all right. They really shine.
Right.
Watch them come from a certain point. At one point, like, go ahead and support. Like, it don't hurt to say, don't go give a couple dollars to go show face. And I mean, sometimes it don't even hurt just to share video. Like, just showing support. Like, this the crazy part about our city is we don't support nothing until somebody blows up.
Well, and it pretty much, it's pretty much like,
it's
like that in just about every city. I was in New Orleans back in February with Baltimore Big Steve,
right?
And they were having an interview at it's Peaches Records, and she had helped Cash Money and No Limit actually get their scans for their records and stuff. She helped them achieve that notoriety, and she's still doing that for local artists. And she had a listening party for an artist in there, and somebody was in there with a radio show like this, and they were asking questions and everything. And the same thing, support. The artist was like, "There's no support here," da 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 da. And I'm like, I keep telling everybody, it's not just Baltimore.
But you know what though? I will speak on this, and I know this. It's a change. It's a shift because after Scooter died, everybody started supporting. I tell a lot of local artists this: if my 14-year-old daughter knows who you are, you popping, and she lives out Essex. Mm-hmm. She's not a city kid. She's a city kid when I get her and I bring her to the hood, but she's not a city kid. If she knows who, if the county knows who you are and you live in the city, you popping.
Well, see, my 3-year-old grandson loves that Money Man song
because shout out to Peso the Bop,
you know,
shout out to him.
And I went back to say, I said this on my show a couple of weeks ago. I say it pretty much every week now. The scene is so much different than
it's a lot different than when we
because now it's mostly YouTube. These kids are being by YouTube.
Now I'm gonna speak on that. I mean, I know we straight out the wrestling situation, but you know what I mean, it's all in the
it's all in the frame. Because I'm telling you, the same thing that we're dealing with, I can guarantee you all are going to say, we deal with that too.
I watched this happen. You got a lot of, and I made a post about it. It's a lot of people that, yeah, I mean, it's people I was going to post business with that, like, deleted me because I made this post. But I watched this. You got people who, yeah, I mean, are getting old, like you constantly hear the name. Yeah, I mean, like, all right, yeah, I mean, we done watched you for some years. You didn't get where you supposed to got to. You got some that get old, some that are old. And then they looking at this new generation for us, Baltimore hip hop that's coming in, and they knocking it. And I'm like, duh, what are you mad at? These young dudes got a following. And I've seen it for myself. A lot of these dudes I know, like know them personally, like. I've seen this for myself. I know the neighbor. Like a lot of us West, like right now, West Baltimore is like holding it right now. No, this the East. Shout out to East Baltimore, but a lot of the artists that's coming out are coming from West, and it's like, yo, they got the following. It's people I know that like, yo, you know, like I say, I have a 14-year-old daughter who's she's coming to me, Dad. You know this person. You know this person. And I'm like, yeah, a lot of these people that's coming up, I didn't know they was rapping.
Right.
I'm thinking they was just. Man, lived in the 17 area. A lot of them coming from that area. So it's like...
Yo, the 17, like, I'm going to tell you, yeah. All of a sudden, 17 was taking over with Division. Like, yo, I'm telling you.
We live right around the corner from each other. We was on North of my road. They was on... And I spent time on the avenue. Tony, bro, I remember when he was just making beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a couple other people I used to run with them, but... It's like looking at it now, like the rappers that's coming from that side, 15 to 16 area, like
to even go back over to to take something over to the wrestling side, and on the music side, and like I said, I can speak on this because I'm in this. All of a sudden, I woke up one day and everybody raps, and there's like tons of rappers that came from out of nowhere. Do you have that in wrestling? Like, do you have like a lot of all of a sudden like now everybody wrestles, or
you have a lot of that? Like,
I'm not saying that they're good, just like the music, they're not good, but they rap. So
it goes like this. I didn't mean to cut you off. I requested a couple wrestlers that I seen from them, and from there. It was like a ton of them that came through, and I'm like, "Oh snap! It's this many of y'all."
Right.
So it's indie wrestling. It's a little different. You know, they a lot of people don't follow the protocol.
Of course not.
They have you have guys that are good, and you have guys who aren't. You know,
they just need to be on Jackass with Johnny Knoxville.
There's no way to kind of put it. You know, I'm not trying to put anybody down, but like, in this business, if you're actually trying to accelerate or excel in the business, then you have to put time in. A lot of guys in the business now, even women, they don't put enough time in. They want just to get in there and get the quick fix, and then hopefully become a big star like that. We're not even like actually working for.
That sounds like rap.
That's music.
That's why I'm doing the correlation. That's what I'm doing.
Only difference is a lot of people don't understand is when you get into that ring and you're training or you're in a match or whatever the case may be, physically your body is taking a toll also.
Oh yes.
Because you're on 2-3 inch plywood with a 1/2 inch mat
And that hurts.
Oh yeah.
So to just think that you could just pick it up and go into it, a lot of people may think
I watched them
but
set the ring
that's
up.
not the way it happens.
I sat back last weekend and I watched them set a ring up, and I'm like, all right, I'm looking at the boards they pulling off.
Yeah.
I'm like, this thick ass.
Like that's how we fall.
Like this is thick wood, man.
Right.
Like, you fall on it. Then I'm looking at the mat they putting on. One thing I learned, yeah, I mean, from him, it was like, yo, the center is like your safest spot. Anything outside of that, you might be walking away with some wood. You sit back and watch that. I'm like, you taking body slams. You
flipping,
right? So it's like,
like they say the ring is the softest parts in the middle. The only reason why they say that because it's a little more give there,
right?
But it's still hard. You know what I mean? Like,
so
in this business, you can be properly trained, whatever like that, and take a bad fall. It happens. I've taken a couple of them. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I'll finish the match, I'll go into the back, and my body's hurting. Like, well, how the world my body hurting? It's one side or something like that. So it has that type of advantage. Plus, you know what I mean? Even women, the women go out there and they give it 110% most of the time too. And I've seen women dish it out sometimes better than men.
And that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. Like, whenever I watched the women, when I was watching WWE. And they would be just out there 120% flinging around, jumping around, flipping around, slamming and everything else. And that's why, like I said, now in the music side, we have a lot of people that want to make it. They want to make it into the industry. Do you have that where these, some of the people that you've been around and you've watched, you refereed and you wrestled, do you see them where their dream is to go to WWE?
Yeah. I have a couple people that we know already are there. Rich Swan, he works for WWE now. Leo Rush just got signed. He used to work at wrestle at MCW, whatever. And a lot of people do the Mae Young Classic, me and him, or Renee Michelle. We all work with those guys. I know them guys too. And they are women. And Kimberly went over there too, but most of them was at the Indies and they worked there, and it's even a goal of mine too. But you have to put a little more into what you're doing if you want thousands of people to pay for your product,
right?
So a lot of people know how to sell their product.
WWE is not a goal of mine.
Nothing against WWE,
but with 4 kids and a wife, it's 300 days a year on the road. Nah, I'll pass on that.
Yeah, this is what I can see happening to you. You'd be out there, you'd be in the ring, and next thing you know, the camera pans over, and there's your wife with your kids talking about, "Are you finished yet?"
Yeah,
2000. He signed with Ken Shamrock in 2005. He was in UFC. He was also in out in Las Vegas, another UFC cut, because he was like, "I'm done. I'm retiring." And people were like, "Why?" He was like, "Because I don't want to be injured. I don't want to have brain trauma. I don't want to have anything that's wrong with me."
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I'm cutting it now.
I was sitting back watching where they had certain wrestlers that they was talking about. They get hooked on
look how many of them have had broken their necks, broken their backs. I think Triple H had
quad injury.
Yeah. And then you go on to the aspect of Chris Benoit, what like his, you don't know what this, like you said, being on the road and doing this stuff to your body and what it does to your mental and what it does to, your family. Like, you're in the spotlight, you're out here and you're wrestling, you're, entertaining, and you got all these fans, and then you go home and your spouse is like, "But money's wonderful, but you're not here."
Right. I've had
that. So, and I don't think people look at it in that aspect. Like how with the music scene, when I looked at, industry artists, I don't think about where they came from.
Right.
I don't think about, that, you know, Jay-Z was up in the projects, you know, and he was selling drugs and everything, and then he did this, that, and the third. You know, I don't think about UGK selling the CDs out of their trunk down in Port Arthur. And
same with the local artists.
Right.
You see these local artists and you get to learn the background. No different than the wrestlers. When you learn the background is, oh, you guys really have circumstances that you had to deal with, and you really came, like, this is our escape. Like, when you doing music, this is an escape. I just said this earlier to my cousin. I said, Doug, when I got my music life and real life, I much rather deal with the bullshit with the music because it's escape from reality. Like,
right.
I mean, reality is reality. We know what we deal with in our reality. And we always need a break from that. You know what I mean? So it's like when you put in your time, this is a passion. It's a hobby. Like
you can't really, like, not to cut you off. You can't really explain how it is out there. Where you have like 500, 1,000. I wrestled in front of 2,000 plus people before. You know, and for me that was like, wow. You know,
right.
This is crazy. Like, oh yeah, the show is packed, man. I'm like, that's great. The usual show.
And you walk out and go.
I'm like, wow, like, it's a lot of people, you know. And it was cool, you know. We had a match and everything. I messed my face up, but you know, it was a scary match for me. But it was at the end, even though I didn't win the match, I had like 2,000 plus people applauding me because I finished. You know what I'm saying? He knew I was messed up, you know.
And not only that, you probably gained some new fans.
Oh yeah, a lot of them.
You know, and that's why, like. That's like I said, you know, you messed your face up during that match.
Oh yeah, I was.
And you know, like when people, because I remember when like Dusty Rhodes' forehead would be he was all scarred up from where he would bust his head open almost every single match. Yeah, yeah. Now whether he cut it himself or he banged it open on the turnbuckle or however else, you know, to do that stuff to your body because of whatever, it's adrenaline rush, this is something that you want to do, you know. And like I said, like one of my favorite wrestlers was what was his name? He was in a car accident. He was partners with Dusty Rhodes years ago. Magnum TA. He was one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And then when all that happened to him, and then people don't realize, okay, something happens to you and you can't wrestle anymore.
Yeah,
they may put you in as a commentator.
Right, but that's very, very
but
far in the future.
You don't know.
Exactly.
You might end up, you know, some of them do end up, like some people do end up, you know, writing, you know, helping with the storylines of different things, you know, or whatever. But, you know, you're putting your body on the line out there. And it's crazy because, like you said, people don't realize that the wear and tear that it takes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A lot of the times it's for free too. A lot of these guys, starting off in the indies, they might give you $20-$40 for a show, but after you drove 2 hours to that show,
and because that $40 didn't do nothing but put a little bit of gas in your car.
Exactly. So it's literally like almost next to nothing.
Yeah, I've seen guys take drives for like $25, you know, or $50, you know, but you're driving 6 hours away, you know, you're not making no money off of that.
Right.
You know, that's enough just to put in your tank.
Right, and I think people do that because they're trying to get that notoriety and gain the fans, and like I said, I understand that from the like I said, the music side of it, you know, where people, you know, artists would go out of town. And that's what I used to tell people all the time is you get your notoriety, get your little fan base where you are, and then you go out of town and you always get more love out of town than you do at home.
That's crazy, isn't it?
You know, it's like, you know.
You know what's crazy? We did the last out of state show I did. It was VA, and then we ended up Philly. I was supposed to went back to VA, but we went to Philly. And the crazy part, it was the Brief Fest. We ended up opening for, I ended up opening for, what's your name? Playboy Cardi. But and it was crazy because I'm sitting there looking at A Boogie, like not A Boogie, Playboy Cardi, and he was dressed like a regular dude you see walking up the street. The whole time I'm asking, like, what the hell is Playboy Cardi? The whole time my daughters sang the song, "Pull Up with the Stick," let it. But it was after that show, none of them people in that crowd I knew.
Right.
Like with after we did that show between like June and July, it was like my friend request. And we was putting posters up in Philly.
Right.
Every time this shit took place, like it, like my friend request got low. You look at my page, like a lot of friends I got, they from out of state.
Right.
And it's 9 times out of 10 a state that I probably perform that. And I tell people, like, you want to make it and you coming from Baltimore City, you have to venture out of town. Like,
right.
You gotta go outside the state. Don't just work Maryland, but go to Virginia, go to Atlanta. It was a couple people that was putting these spots together.
A lot more heat from your own state.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When it's your own city, they dissect you. Like they
really shit right there.
Microscope and they dissect you. Like so you go to another city and this you displaying the talent that you have and this rocks. Like like I'm been out of town.
I'm gonna tell you how real that hate in your own state is. I was at the Tech 9 show when he was here at Soundstage. Mm-hmm. I love Tech. I love Tech. Tech was on stage for 2.5 hours. I was well worth that money I had to pay for that ticket. Last minute ticket too. Yeah,
that's my first time seeing Tech.
Mine too, and I'm a fan of his. And when he brought out Stars, and the crowd was like crickets because nobody knew who Stars was.
And that's the crazy part. These lists that come out, right? It was a list that came out one year where people was like, who are these guys? And a few of them people that was on that list, I ran into them in different cities, just doing a show.
Right.
And we from Baltimore. Okay. Like, Gary Gandler, that's one of them. I ran into him in D.C. at a networking event for Big Boy. Mm-hmm. True story. Me and my wife walked upstairs, just how we were dressed. Like, I wish she could stay, because she could tell the story. Like, just how we was dressed. You supposed to have a band and go upstairs. We dressed apart. Walked up in there and went to VIP like it was nothing. We was ordering drinks and everything. Like it was not, but it was just the point. Like certain Baltimore artists we was running into out of state, or somebody that was, managing an artist out of state, and it was okay. I ain't know who Take Care was until I met Gary Gandler, and that's who he was promoting. He gave me a CD. Hood Ain't Enough, the first CD Take Care was put out. And I've been a fan of Take Care ever since. Yeah. And I'm an artist, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot of people. It was a list that came out where it was people that was working in New York, Atlanta, Virginia, or someone was out on the West Coast, and people was like, yo, who the hell is these people? And I'm like, they had the concept of you got to get out of Baltimore to make it.
Take House was one of the first artists who paid me to come to an event. He gave me a ticket, gave me a t-shirt, and paid me money to take pictures of him performing. He's one of the only artists that's done that. Baltimore Big Steve pays, he pays for my airfare, he pays for my hotel stay when we go to Houston and New Orleans. Mm-hmm. I've been to Houston and New Orleans twice this year, and I'm going to go again in December for my birthday weekend because he's having an album release party down there. Mm-hmm. So, I'm watching these, like I said, I support the scene as a whole, but when I see somebody making moves, he done did a tour, Puerto Rico, he's done went out to Cali.
I found Steve. This is another thing, 3D, another person. They went to Texas one year, and they shot Filthy Rich and Sauce Walker. Niggas didn't even know I knew Sauce Walker. Like, this is before you even got to where he's at. Like, to sit back and be like, yo, I see a video, and I'm like, wait a minute. 3D and K-Buzz, with that year to shoot this shit. Like, yo, this is one of my favorite videos, but I'm sitting back talking to my man Sauce and this. Yeah, I remember them guys when they came down here. They was from Baltimore, and I'm like, yo, I know them guys. There's a lot of people, even with Chicago. That's like a second hometown of mine. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, me and my brother brought the drill scene to Baltimore when we were doing what we was doing. We brought that style down here. So to sit back, it was like people that was in Chicago, and it was, yo, we know who Lil Tay is. I hang with Spence, and it's, no, the fuck you don't. No different than I tell people who my family is from Chicago that got little deals, and this, no, the fuck is not. Like, it just, I don't know, we like gotta move around to be in certain positions.
So on the wrestling side, do the wrestlers have that same hate in their own state kind of thing? And
it's not even, what they call it, what's the term they use? Heat. That's what it is. You get heat for a little bit stupid as shit in wrestling. That's dumb. You know what I mean? Like, oh, somebody does the same suplex as me. He stole my shit, and I'm gonna take it. And I got heat. Like, dude, that suplex.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna tell you how petty you get though, because I've seen this firsthand. I ain't gonna put that company up there yet, because I ain't got no big bitch. I mean, I understand it's politics with everything,
right?
But we had a certain situation where I had to listen to a phone conversation, and I'm like, Doug, are you trying to help out or are you hating? You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, this is the concept I came with. Regardless to whatever you do, there's going to be hate. Whether you wrestle, whether you act, whether you rap, whether you sing. Like, this is all entertainment. It's always going to be hate.
I try to keep my wrestling and my business and wrestling straight professional for a lot of them, because, like, you can't befriend a lot of people in wrestling at all, you know, because a lot of people are out for themselves. You know, and when as soon as they see you trying to do something, the money they do is trying to chop you at the legs. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they want you to come support their stuff back.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I'm not doing that.
Sound
shit.
familiar?
You know what I mean? It's the bullcrap we got to deal with behind. Like, people see the show.
Right.
They think, oh, it's cool, it's great, got all this light and all that stuff. We all come out there doing our thing, but you don't see the bullshit we gotta go through to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whether it's from them, whether it's the other stuff we gotta get there and do. And one of the hardest but easiest thing to do sometimes is take your personal feelings aside and work with somebody that you have a problem with. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I don't care for this guy too much, but we gotta work this match. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes it can be the best match, or it can be the big clusterfuck in the world. You know.
Thing is, like, when you see, because like I know this in battle rap, when I was like, they really can't stand each other, and then afterwards it's all handshakes. Yeah, what's up? That was a good battle. Da, da, da. But during that battle, they look like they can't stand each other. Now we do have some battles where people don't really like each other. Mm-hmm. Do you guys have it where some of these wrestlers cannot stand either one of them, and you really gotta go? You need to tone down a little bit before you break his neck. You need to tone down a little before you break his leg. You know, does that really, you know, does that really happen?
Yeah, it happens a lot. Like, it hasn't happened to me per se, because I'll punch in the face. Like,
I was getting ready to say, I don't think anybody's really like, because your tone of your voice and everything, you're really like, I'm mild mannered. I'm really down to earth. But I'm telling you right now, I will punch you in your face if you really,
I've seen him in the guts.
He's a referee. Like, what the fuck was that?
Like, he really bit my damn finger.
Right. I can do my thing in there, but hold on, bro. You know.
I had asked him a question one day. I said, Joe, being in this choreograph, like if you get hard or a wrestler get mad, he was like, no, they get mad when they botch. And you break down the definition of botch. If they choreograph the match, and you know what I mean, it might be a suplex that's supposed to have been pulled off, or something that happens when they throw it to, and they just mess up the whole move, then like that's
it's just the nostalgia of wrestling, even like the whole secrecy of wrestling has been thrown out the window.
Right.
Ever since Vince McMahon made Total Divas, it just took the whole aspect of what wrestling was out the window. You know what I mean? Because now you're getting to see the stuff in the back, you get to see the politics.
Well, I would say even before that too, because like Lisa was just touching on a few minutes ago. The fun came out of it for you when you really found out, you know, what was going on behind the scenes. And again, that's I won't touch that conversation too much, because I'm a total fan of the old school, and keeping it as real as possible. And so I won't get into too much of that. But again, that's where it is different. That's where it is different nowadays.
Right. And my thing, like I said, like, you know, it's when it comes to the wrestling, like, you, like, even now being grown up, like, I know that it's scripted, but if I'm watching it, it doesn't, like, I don't think about it, because it'd be so exciting to watch them. You know, like I said, Rey Mysterio, when Rey Mysterio came on the scene, I thought he was about the best thing since sliced bread, because he was flipping around, he was spinning, going through the ropes, and he was back flipping and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and, you know, like, he was entertaining. You know, so it was like a breath of fresh air for me, like when I'm watching this.
Right.
So like it just got to the point to where like Vince McMahon with his storylines was like, okay, you're getting too soap opera-y. You know, you're bringing in these females. Like I know back in the day with Miss Elizabeth, that was, you know, but it wasn't like the whole Triple H and Stephanie McMahon love story kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it just touched on it, you know, like, you know, this one's looking at Miss Elizabeth, so Randy Macho Man was getting mad, and you know that stuff that like that really does happen in real life. Like if you go out, if you take your wife out, and you know guys are looking at her, and you be like, wait a minute, hold up, you know, for one, these guys are bulked up, they lifting weights, they're all this. They have an image to uphold as well. Right. So stuff like that happening on wrestling, you'd be like, yo, that really does happen. But that whole Stephanie McMahon and yo, do you remember when Vince was dressing up in wrestling?
Yeah.
I remember when I found out that it was actually Vince McMahon wrestling. I was because all of a sudden he was all bulked up and everything. I was like, what the hell? You're the owner. What is this the reason why you started the whole wrestling? So you could wrestle? Is that what it was?
He had a real good story with Steve Austin. And,
yes.
And him and Steve Austin, right? WWE has like their good, well, WWF had their good rivalries back then. It was barely so they had a bad rivalry. Like you had your Austin and The Rock, you had Austin McMahon, you had Taker and Kane, whatever like that. You had Undertaker and Steve Austin, Undertaker and The Rock. They all had good Steve Austin, and Triple H was another one that had a really good storyline with Austin too.
Right.
But like now it's really hard to find that now.
Right.
You know, like I'm like Willie is. I'm like Chet is. I'm like I can actually. I'm a fan of old school stuff. You know, I still like my Pedro Morales and my Bruno Sammartino, Mariah Pipers. You know, I still watch.
Jimmy Superfly Snuka was one of my favorites.
Yeah, Mr. Perfect was one of my favorites. You know, so like I still watch that stuff, and I use a lot of that stuff when I do what I'm doing in there because I like to be safe as possible.
Right.
But I like to get the story across too. You know what I mean? And if you can't go out there and just punch and kick and beat the crap out of you, I think there's people out there, we have to entertain these people.
Right.
Like if we out there punching and kicking, it's just two guys punching and kicking, there's no type of story, there's no type of interaction, you know? So we gotta make them, our job is pretty hard to do. Especially you have crowds that are just like, yay, and you have crowds that are really high on everything, but you have crowds that are just dead to the world, and it's like,
Baltimore is a tough act, you know? The please, like that's the one, and I'm learning, like it ain't just with hip hop, it's everything. This is a tough city to please for us entertainment. We did a show last night, and it was like I watched a lot of acts go up, and it was they was rocking, and I'm like, yo, everybody just sitting on the wall. I mean, you there for who you there for,
right?
I mean? But it's nothing wrong with showing another artist. Oh, I like what y'all doing. It's real.
Every once in a while, you'll get that, but it's rare. So, do you guys do a lot of trash talking before your matches and all like that?
Oh yeah, especially if I don't like them. I'm gonna say what I want. But we'll go at it. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You know,
I be watching a lot of the Facebook, man. It was like if I see he posts something that's like controversial, like it's pertaining to the wrestling world. There's always a wrestler that come on, or it'll be other wrestlers because I'm friends with quite a few of them. I be watching and it be, oh, we just want to bounce in this trash talk. So it's
I will reiterate this. In the next few weeks, you know, just keep an eye on our Facebook pages. Again, Jay Washington, Jay Hayzie, Chet Weaver, Kindred Kymari. You'll be seeing a lot of promos and stuff coming up in the next few weeks. Everything leading up to the event. And again, it goes back to that balance. We're going to give people everything that they want. You know, if you're an older wrestling fan, it's going to please you. If you're a younger wrestling fan, it's going to please you. If you're a music fan and you're there not even for the wrestling, it's going to please you.
Right.
And vice versa, you know. It's kid-friendly, you know. Music will be clean. So kids are definitely welcome.
That's another thing.
I forgot. I had a thought and just like I was getting ready to say something and it just went right out of my head. So hopefully it'll come back around.
This is another thing, and I'm gonna say this because I know her body got a nice following. Like anybody that's booked for our matches, like I specified with the artists that I talked to. Like it's like Will just said, it's kid friendly. So
right.
You gotta be mindful of the music that you're coming to. I mean, you make your music, but I tell people be mindful of certain events. It might be an outside show. You never know. You might be an ad friend. Mm-hmm. Or, you know what I mean, an outside show where it's a big crowd and there's kids there. Like, our acts would be kid friendly. It'll be clean. Unless, you know what I mean, we got a specific event where it's adults only.
Right.
For the most part, we prefer artists that got clean music, especially on the hip hop side. You don't really gotta request that too much on the rock side, but on the hip hop side, that's what we're requesting.
Right, and I mean that's to be expected, and that's like I was at an event once, and it was supposed to be clean music, mm-hmm. and the person got up there, and I was just like, wow. I was at Druid Hill Park, and I was like, and I'm looking around, I'm looking at like. And I was like, I thought this was supposed to be clean music.
We had an artist on my end that had that happen where, and they didn't know, like, it was just they got booked for an event and they wasn't thinking that it was kids until they got there. But it still wasn't their whole lot. Let me pause this song and not do this particular song. But it was like, it was crazy because we ended up doing the event, like, we had little costume gigs for Be More Than Dance, LeBeau. And we went there, and that's all I heard about was like, man, your artist came in here and got the sense. And I'm like, oh, snap. Like, I had, like, oh, my bad. Like, that artist didn't, that Pacific they didn't know. So it was like, yeah, they just took the show and said, all right, I'm going to show up. But it was like, they learned from that. It was
right. That's like, I actually, when people send me music to play, for the interviews or whatever, and they'll be like, does it have to be clean? I'm like, no, we're internet radio. We're not FCC. They're not checking for. That's why, because sometimes I get in here and I'll be just like cussing like crazy. It depends on who I'm around because This
is where I call a drastic change with the music. When it was one thing, we did a couple songs that was no profanity. Me and my brother did a song where it was no profanity, and it was like an old school beat. Mm-hmm. But we did the brand remix. Shout out to my man Daryl Mack. Hold your head, bruh. Free my man Munch. But we did the branded remix for him, and he requested that it was clean. So me, Spence, Jig O, and Privilege like really sat down, and everybody verses was clean. So when I sat and listened to that song, and it was, wait a minute though, nobody content changed. It was right. We were still talking what we was talking about, but we just wasn't cursing. So it was like I started writing like a bunch of songs. A lot of these songs are recorded. Some of them I performed. Some of them just waiting 2018 to come so I can go and release them. But it's a lot of stuff that I've been doing where I feel like this. If you're a real artist, you're supposed to have a wide vocabulary.
Well, I've requested from a lot of people, can y'all make a song that I can sing along with? Because, I can't say the N-word. And every other word is the N-word. And I'm like, can y'all, please, can y'all do that? Because every other word, you rhyming a word together. And I'm sitting there going, Because when I'm reading something, I'll be on the phone, I'll be with my homegirl talking to her, and I'll read a meme or something, and I'll be like, ninja, and she'll be like, what the hell are you talking about? I said, I can't say that word. I'll call that word. I hate that word. But yeah, so, that's people don't stop and think that, this is an all ages event.
Right.
And the music's got to be clean. Some people don't, pay attention to that. Have you guys ever had to where the wrestlers get so in depth and they just start cussing and carrying on? I'm sure it happens. Yeah, and I'm sure the kids have heard a lot worse. Oh, yeah. I know my kids have heard a lot worse.
We've seen it in professional wrestling. You see that with Booker T going at Hulk Hogan. We see it.
In the back, they say what you can and can't do. They're like, oh, nobody do no cursing, no F-bombs, and then somebody will go out there, you mother.
But that's just part of a person's
right. I mean, especially being in that heat of the moment kind of thing. Like you said, you bit your finger, and then what you do? You went right in the right. Yeah, it's just right, boom, right in the mode. You was just stomping because that's why I said like with the cursing thing, when you're doing events like at Druid Hill Park and stuff for the city, you know, you definitely have to have your music clean, because if not, you'll never do another event with them. I'm getting ready to kill 3D because he's hacked my page from my laptop. And he said that I'm dropping a twerk video after my radio show. Wait on it. I'm kicking his ass.
we have like, even with the women portion of the wrestling show, like we have 2 girls that's actually really good, really very good looking women, and they're gonna come down there and actually do it. We're eventually gonna like kind of tease it for like a women's championship somewhere down the line. But so those 2 I thought would be really good because like I said, they've been really hitting the scene a lot in professional wrestling, so we're trying to get them.
It was from here.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like when you know, like certain people, like when you see like certain events, they be like, oh, this is so and so from such and such. Like my friend AJ, who, you know, was, you know, he's from Dublin, Georgia. So when they were like, you know, coming from Dublin, Georgia, from such and such, whatever, wherever he was in Florida at the end of his thing or whatever. So, you know, like,
oh yeah, it's cool. That's why we're trying to sell you into the building. You know what I'm saying? So, and you have a really good match like we had with Sahara 7 and Vanity, whatever. They actually have. I picked those 2 because they have a really good match, and he's seen a lot of stuff they did too, but they're really good. And like I said, it's more so it's a lot harder for women to be taken seriously in wrestling, just as it's harder for men to get booked. You're more easy to get booked as a woman in wrestling than more so a man, because everybody can use a woman's match. You know,
right, so, because like I said, they're looking, men, you know, men are going to look at the female because of the body or whatever. You know, they're not really paying attention to the whole wrestling thing until they start wrestling, and you'd be like, oh shit, she could probably body slam my ass. And you know, so you know, and that's why I was asking before about the whole, is it an overabundance of people that now can be, you know, trying to be wrestlers. How did you pick these people to be on? Like, what, you know, were these your, like, these were the ones
it was a combination of personal and talent, and putting together a show that can kind of, you know, reach everyone. Ruckus from here, he's known for smoking weed. So, yeah, you know, he's gonna touch the crowd. Kindred's a vampire. We have Crazy Shay, who breathes fire. We have JT Funk. You know, he's a younger guy, but he likes to dance around. So we're gonna touch you in all different ways. So it's a combination of us knowing these guys and knowing that they're good people and talent.
Yeah, I figured these guys we know they can do kind of living. So because the first show we gotta show our ass the first show, you know. So it's I got a couple people that I mentioned, a couple names process for me too. So the guys that I had told him about, I was like, yeah, this will be a good show. We got these guys on it. So and we don't want to overbear it, but let's get it a good show, you know. Right. So we're with the people that we have, you know, you can pretty much get your money's worth out of all that. And Crazy Shay, that's just another word for him. But I wrestled him a couple of times too, where he did some crazy shit, because that's what he is, you know. And
is he crazy, mankind crazy, or is he worse? Is he just like?
I'll say more like a lot of Terry Funk. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The old chainsaw Terry Funk, you know, and
Hacksaw Jim Duncan with the 2x4 with the nails in it.
Yeah, all that stuff, you know. But you know, like the times I wrestled him, like the reason why I had a good time in the ring with him, because like he was willing to put his body on the line for me, and I did the same thing for him. So we kind of agreed. You gain a mutual respect sometimes from certain people, because you got to sell this guy, and they got to sell you. You know what I mean? So it's people think it's just moves. It's more than just moves. It's basically, hey, I trust you, trust me. You know what I'm saying? Let's go out there and have a good show. And that's just what it is. Sometimes it don't really go like that sometimes, but then sometimes it does, you know. But
right.
And it's, we may not show it out there, but we get in the back, we're like, fuck, you know what I mean? Because we know it wasn't what we wanted to do, or it didn't hit that mark, you know.
See, so, and that's why I was going back to saying about how somebody just watching it, not knowing that, they're like, oh, that was awesome, that was but meanwhile you're back in the back going, God damn it,
Right, that's how it is. That's pretty much how it is. Like, if I have a bad match, like I would never say it verbally out front of everybody, but you would see it on my face. You know what I'm saying? So when I get in the back, it's like, you know, whatever, you know.
Prime example, like as a referee, I also have to make it look as real as possible. Right. So if you have a finish to a match and it's not time for that finish yet, and you know somebody goes to pin you, and I count 1, 2, and your shoulders aren't up off the mat, I'm still counting 3, and that's the end of the match. Right. You know, whether you guys were done or not, like I'm counting 3, and that's the end of the match.
So have you ever? Because you know I've seen some referees have to go through this, just watching wrestling. But have you ever been like you're getting ready to do the 1, 2, 3 count, and somebody comes and grabs you out of the ring, you know?
That happened. I've been knocked down quite a few times. Last week when we did the Millersville show with BCW, they had Al Snow as one of their.
Oh God!
And I had a whole interaction with him, and he hit me with the mannequin head. So yeah,
he still carried a mannequin head. That's crazy. I was sad, but I ended up leaving early, so I couldn't really watch the match. It's I had other obligations, but. That was an honor just to be in the same. Like I shook his hand, talked to him for a little something, but that was an honor. Like these people I grew up watching,
right? But it's like it's interesting, and I'm asking these questions because I'm wondering. You know, like I know that, like I say, being from the music side of it, seeing these artists go and jump through hoops and jump over hurdles and to try to get to that notoriety, and you guys are doing basically the same thing. Exactly. Right. You know what I mean? So trying to see the correlation between the music artists, the underground music artists trying to be on the industry level, you know, trying to be, not even be at the end, like being on that same level, not actually being like in the industry, but being on that same level, and watching you guys, you know, go from being the underground in the wrestling to try to be just like what the industry is doing, so you can get that same notoriety, or possibly, like you said, be in the WWE. So that's why I asked, you know, because I know that's happened so many times with wrestlers, you know, when wrestling matches with the poor referee. Oh yeah. Yes, the poor referees getting drug out, getting hit,
part of the job,
getting thrown, you know, like, come on, man. Or somebody is distracting you while they're, you know, somebody is knocking out the guy and then throwing the other one on top, and you know. So I was just wondering how much of that is incorporated as well.
Just like the incident, like when I was in Altoona, when I had those 2,000 people plus the. It was a spot we did where I was supposed to dive over the ropes, and you know they did catch you and all that stuff like that. It didn't go that well. Right. So like I'm in the air, and I'm like, oh, it's cool. I got good air off of it. I cleared the ropes and everything. And I'm coming down. They only catch one side of me. So like the upper part is going into the gutter. And before I had time to actually like catch myself, it was already too late anyway. I just took it in the face, and then you know I kind of rolled over and didn't feel anything on my face, nothing like that. I had messed around and breathed, and I just kept coming out like a faucet. And I'm just like, yeah, something's wrong. So like the whole time in the match, like I couldn't breathe out my nose. So I'm kind of freaking out, but I'm not really showing it in my face. Right. I don't want to die in here, so I'm just going to try to breathe in my mouth as possible. So the referee had saw me. He was like, hey man, you want me to stop the match? I'm like, no, fucking keep going, you know. I'll fucking pass out before I'll fucking let you come in the back. Right. You know? So, and it was, after we finished the match, when the guy was wrestling, he was kind of concerned about me too. He was just like, you want to show you want to finish? I said, dude, just keep going, you know.
Now, see, something like that's a situation that could possibly get someone heat too. Right. Because, you know, the referee is like, oh my God, he's bleeding everywhere. Something's not right. He's saying, keep going. But, you know, if you stop that match, and you take it to the back, then
he can be mad at you.
He's gonna be pissed off when we get to the back,
right? Because he wanted to keep going regardless. Because at the end of the day, he's responsible for him. Even though like management, and everybody is looking at it like, okay, if something happens to him, we could be liable, blah blah blah. But he was like, no, keep going.
Exactly.
Keep going.
Exactly.
I mean, it gets that way, or it gets to a point where I think I showed in the video where a dude did a 450 backflip and landed straight on his head.
Yeah.
And he kind of scorpioned himself, and he was done, And the referee let the guy pin him. Like, clearly you can see this guy's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? There's no point in pinning him.
And the referee let it keep going.
Yeah, let him keep going. Like, something like that, you can tell he's not responsive. No. Because most time the referees come around and grab your hand. If you squeeze it, means you're all right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if they don't get that, they got to put the ice up.
I've actually, when I used to watch wrestling, and I would actually see the referees, like, I guess because the camera angle was, they're having a conversation with the person, and being younger, you're thinking he's just like what boxers, like how boxers do with the referee in boxing, you good, you all right, you did it, and like they're having like these full-fledged conversations with each other, going, you good, like are we okay, we stopping this, what are we doing here? But
and that's another job for the referee also. The whole time they're down there. He could have forgot his spot in the match. Right. And that's my job to remind him where they're at.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's just like when Owen Hart had power drive Steve Austin and the guy had him paralyzed for like 2 minutes.
Right.
When Austin wasn't kind of responding to Earl Hebner, Earl told Owen Hart, hey, just mess around with the crowd for a while, like, let him give him some time, whatever, because Austin couldn't move.
Right. And didn't want to do more damage than if there was something, really, really done.
Right. So Owen Hart just told him just pin him. You know what I mean?
Everybody in the ring has to work together.
Right.
No different from the music. Wolfpack Gang's on stage and somebody forgot where they were supposed to come in at, or they didn't come in at the right time.
Somebody always pick up.
Yeah, right.
And that's the way pick up, and it throws the timing off of everything else that's going on.
Yeah. So. Right, and see, that's like I said, that's another aspect of things that people don't know about, they don't understand. Like I said, that wasn't planned to happen with you messing your face up with the blood and everything. But to the crowd, they were like, they loved it because people love violence. They love violence, and I think that because I remember stories of them using razor blades and cutting their foreheads open, so that it would be more gory and bloody and everything else. And one thing like what made me understand the fact that they were actually putting their bodies on the line is those cage matches and matches with barbed wire and stuff like that. Like I really at that point I understood that they really doing this.
Kindred's in a cage match December 9th in Delaware, and I'll be reffing that match in the cage. So
it's gonna be they're actually gonna have the cage where it's basically a title for a title kind of like spiel. They having
back that way.
They having their indie roundup champion. Well, to me, I'm still indie roundup champion, because the referee that I had was him, and he was assigned for my match. They tried to get another referee to count my shoulders down. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like it's not legal because he wasn't assigned for this match. It was him.
Right.
And that's why they're having a big. That's the story we're going with now to see who's the real indie roundup champion. So that's why we're having a match in December. And they're having the belts hanging inside the cage, so we have to climb the ladder.
Okay, you get the belts.
So you're kind of getting the cage match and a ladder match at the same time. So it's gonna be crazy, but
like I said, like wrestling to me is like I said, it's my childhood. Like I said, my father, there was 3 of us. My father had something special with each one of us. Yeah. Me, it was wrestling. My sister, it's NASCAR, and my father, it was like working on cars and stuff. Even though I know how to work on cars too, but we had something, like I don't care for NASCAR. Going the circle again. Right. Come back. What lap are they on now? They still going? Oh, there was a wreck. Oh, damn. They all right? Oh, okay. But with wrestling, my father, like I said, we would sit down and we would watch it and talk about the different. Like I said, Stone Cold Steve Austin came on there.
Oh yeah, it was the money.
Yeah, I was like, because he was really the people's person because he was like basically fuck y'all.
Fuck working for y'all. I'm gonna do shit my way. You know?
Yeah, I don't care what you say. I'm gonna do it my way.
Right.
But in all actuality, he was doing it their way.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
But because of his attitude and the beer and everything else, those personas were what people gravitate to.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
It's like
the whole entertainment factor.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
like I said, I do vampires. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a lot of lines with vampires, especially on the spiritual aspect. I'm a lot into that type thing too.
Right.
Plus, I add a lot of myself into what I do. So it's like when you see Kindred Kymari, you see me.
He carries blood.
Yeah. You know, why not? Everybody, there's a part, But there's a lot of hard times with wrestling too, because sometimes you have that stagnant point where you're trying to figure out how you get the machine going again.
Right.
And then some people get it and people don't get it. They just try to figure out a way to kind of get the machine rolling. And sometimes in the business, you can be in business for a year or two or whatever, and sometimes you just figure this is not for you. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot. It takes a lot to be a wrestler. It does. Mentally and physically, it takes a lot to be a wrestler. You got to be in the gym. Well, you're supposed to be in the gym.
Right.
A lot of guys don't go to the gym. But, you got to be in the gym. Then you got to put your body through so much crap. Like, get on top of a 20-foot ladder and doing a suplex off of it. Oh, no. No, you already know. No, but, get climbing up a 20-foot ladder and taking a suplex off of that. Naturally, it's like, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's stupid. But we do it because, number one, they tell you wrestling all the time. Don't think. Just do it.
Just do it. Because if you stop and think about it, you're going to hurt yourself.
You're going to do it. It's like getting on the top rope and then hopping down. It's like the fans are like, yay. Oh, you know what? Boo, this man sucks. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen, And once you're up there, you got to do something. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's like you have to just really put all of yourself in it. Like, I've been in the heat with, my son's mom at the time and, wrestling coming in, my body's like stiff. I wake up the next morning, I have a back spasm, my lower back, and I got to lay on the bed for like a minute before I get up. And she's like, that's why you can stop wrestling. You can't even walk, blah, blah. I'm like, shut up. What I'm saying? I know what I'm getting myself into by doing this, And
oh my gosh,
is that the one with the?
That's the belts.
Oh yeah. That's my collection. Yeah. He has the collection of collections.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's the collections of collections.
Yeah.
It's right in the crate.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, I see. I know I'm supposed to. I did a video shoot. Like I said, I did a video shoot before I got here, and we're supposed to go back there because there's a party. There's a party or something going on.
Yeah. And
the DJ told us to come on back, and we would be good. So what I'm doing is I'm going back, and I'm taking my camera. And we're going to shoot some more for the video.
Right.
But that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
This WWE belts and what else?
All of them. WCW, TNA, NWA.
NWA, yeah. NWA was a good place to work too.
Yeah. Like I said, I watched it. I watched the changeover from when it was before it was the NWA and it went to WCW, and like the NWO, Wolfpack, and then on it's like those two companies were competing against each other,
and that's the issue now. I also feel like that's why we can do big things in Baltimore because, like I said, there are 4 other companies in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
3 other companies in Maryland, but no one really competes with each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everybody kind of does their own thing. We want to do something to make everybody else step their game up also, so we can step our game.
Do you have any crossover with those companies? Like, do you do some of their wrestlers wrestle and did the 3 other ones?
That happens a lot.
Yeah, we're working with Baltimore Championship Wrestling on on this one to kind of do a cross promotion.
I think you know, like that goes back to like supporting, you know, like how we were talking about like the local music artists supporting each other. Because when I first came in the scene, when I would go out to like Black Hole Club out in Dundalk, I would look around and there would be artists there. Like Jay said, when he goes to shows and he's not performing, but he's just there to support. Yeah. I would see the same thing. I would see artists there and they're not performing, they were just supporting. Well, then all of a sudden it just all changed. So that's why I was asking about, like, you know, that way it would be a bigger thing. You know what I mean? Right. Because you got 4 companies. And to have like a crossover with those companies with the other, you know what I mean? That's how I think about business. And you know, that's how I think about business.
That also gets back into that hating your own state thing.
This is the whole kicker though. Like, if we got everybody crossing over, let's say, all right, it all works out. We got these artists sitting there and they performing at these shows, and you got wrestlers that come out with certain intro things. They might link up with the artists and say, hey, I like what you did up there.
No, she's talking about with all the wrestling.
With the wrestling, with the wrestling.
I just walked in.
Yeah, he just walked back in. But I understand what you're saying, because like when people found out that I'm friends with AJ, AJ is actually Anthony Rumble Johnson from the UFC.
Yeah.
And, I knew this you were talking about when you said he fought DC.
I think it's
yeah. Well, he's, like I said, we've been friends for about 13 years, and when people found out, artists, oh, yo, tell him I'll do it. You know, I'm gonna do his music that he walks into, and I'm looking at him going like, he's not gonna walk into your shit. I'm sorry, but he's not going to. He's a black man, but he's not into that hip. Cause like when we would talk about the hip hop, he was like, but people are just slowing up. They scaring me. I hate being in this window. But, you know, that's like I said, I'm sure that's probably what's going to happen with it as this gets bigger and bigger. Artists are going to...
That's how me and him got affiliated. Because, man, Murdoch, like, yo make dope beats. Mm-hmm. So it was like, I mean, you can go any way with Joe when it come down to beats. So I'm like looking at his character. It was, yo, we can make some intro music for you. Then it started from that, and it was, wait, man. So, if we put this show together, we cross over this. That's another opportunity. But when it's saying no business wise, you looking at it, you got 2 different worlds where people are going to enjoy both. It might be a straight hip hop show,
right?
And you might see those wrestlers at that show. No different than it just might be a regular match that those wrestlers are doing, and you see the rap artists at those shows. So it's more so we just trying to bring something together where everybody's supporting each other. It's 2 different worlds, but those worlds can bring something
right
good out of it.
And like I said, whereas the hip hop scene, there's not like a lot of people a lot of people still don't know about the Baltimore hip hop scene. Whereas I didn't know that about the wrestling aspect of it. Right, yeah. So by bringing them together, like I said, you're going to have people, you know, like I said, you're going to have more people like, oh, well, damn, I didn't know. And then, because like I said, Blizzard is a big wrestling fan. Yeah, so,
that you know. The kick that, like, as soon as he said that, it was the first few people when it was on the show, Billy Live. And then it was, like, Fox, wrestling fan. It was Blizzard. Like, I mean, Jay McGraw, like, it was at one point, I used to see them. Monday Night Raw kind of had SmackDown Monday Night, they down there. Is they got the tickets, they already down there. And there's a couple wrestlers that Blizzard know. One of them did a song for. So it was...
Right.
Yeah, that was another reason. Like, we was really trying to get you on this event. It was like, all right, we gotta stick one rap, one hip hop. But the next event is definitely...
Right. So, do you have any... like idea of when maybe the next one's going to be, or that you're just going to see how this one goes first and then you're going to go into playing stage?
Well, this one's going to go awesome.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, we already have the feeling it's going to be awesome.
You might have to go and find a new venue because it might not be big enough.
This is the whole kicker. Talking to Tim at G10, he gave it to us for once a month that we can hold this venue.
Oh yeah, because Tim. As long as Tim's gonna make some money at that bar, oh yeah.
And that's the thing. If the bar can make money, I can give it to y'all once a month. It's other spots that we're looking at within the city, and then some county. While some people already linked up, started talking to you. Like when he got to breaking down where most of these matches are held at, and I'm looking at space-wise, center-wise, because I know what these wrestlers are capable of doing off the top rope. I watch them, so it's like, all right, it's a firehouse right up the street from G10. But we was thinking location-wise, safe location-wise, so I started branching out, reaching out to other people. Just to see, like, but this is just one of many events. Right. Like, man, this guy got brains to put anything together. So it was like we started off with just putting together, like, what was it, costume, like we was doing parties, like kids' birthday parties. We still do that. Like we got the costumes, we got the chocolate fountain, popcorn machine, all that stuff. So it's like we're able.
You want us to set up your stage for a show you got coming up? We got all the lights
for that. So it's like we're one stop shop. We're grinders over here. It's not, we're not just focusing.
Well, I already know, Jay. I already know. Yeah. Like I've known you for years now. So
we're basically trying to get people to look at this and say, well, we got to up our game next time because you know what I mean, and we're going to make them a big game every single show that we do. You know, we want to exactly. You know,
so it's going. I think it's going to get to the point to where wrestlers are going to be knocking on your door, ringing your phone, saying, "Hey, I want to be on."
Hold on, not just the wrestlers, but the music side, because it's going to be hip hop acts.
We put the flyer up on the Facebook and like immediately
why'd you hit why can I get on there? Can I that's almost like the hip hop side when you put how can I get on this show? How can I get on this show? Because Billy Live just did he had his album release party last night.
We performed it.
Yeah, we were there.
And I was supposed to be there. I was actually supposed to be taking pictures of strippers, but my car acted stupid, and then I had a headache, and I didn't want to go anywhere. So
last night that building was upstairs. He had a lingerie party. He had it downstairs, jumping with X down there, and he had this French floor. I'm starting to get sick, so it was like, I ain't mean to like just roll out, but my body, I was starting to get sick, and I'm like, man, but I really wanted to go upstairs.
But he always goes above and beyond. That's why I'm not even surprised that he was like, because this is right up his lane about doing different things. Like I said, he was doing at the skate park. He was doing it at the skate park, and somebody called and had the fire marshal come out there and shut them down.
Wow.
Yeah, because somebody called.
Wow, that's crazy.
Right.
I did a couple shows for Billy Live. The last one I did before we started again was out Milton, PA, and that was turned. It was the whole show. It was.
Right.
I've never been to a boring Billy Live show. Like,
no, and you never will be because that's just not in their vocabulary.
I've been to one of his rap shows at the.
That was small.
Yeah, that was small. Yeah.
They ain't go to bars on the bay.
Not yet.
Or any like they ain't been in that. They just seen the one he had at the little spot on Park Place, and then the one Will seen last night at the Multicultural Center. And I'm like, that turnout was nice, but. Billy Live.
When he does shows at like he gets booked to do he'll get booked to do Soundstage. Yeah. Which is kind of hard because Soundstage really doesn't like local hip hop. They don't like local artists because they don't make any money, so they say. But Billy will have the largest support, the largest crowd. It's just because he's from out Westminster. Right. So what he did was he started out there, and then he came in the city, and he brought them into the city, and then he gained fans by being here.
And that's crazy. Like, this has been for years. I was explaining that to them because it's like he's new to the music side just as much as I'm new to the wrestling side. Like, there's a lot of people here that got a big name behind them. I'm honored to say I'm one of them. But it's like when they
you did my shows.
So to sit back and like, man, like Billy Live, like, that's a show that you just don't.
Right. And like I said, Billy does, and like what Big Steve does too. They go out.
They go out. They travel.
Billy did this. He put together this tour that he did for his album. Right. And he went to Pennsylvania, a couple of different places in Pennsylvania. He was in New York. He was in New Jersey.
That's the Milton show.
Yeah, he did like just different places, you know, and that's what you have to do. You know, I have to.
Big wrestling markets too. Those
spots, yeah. And that was another reason why I picked him. Like I pay attention, like, and that's the crazy part because I follow Wisdom Court and it's like the places they be at. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
When he came to me with this and where they be at, I'm like, duh, this the perfect person for this. Like, I got other people lined up for other events, but it was like I just kept him in mind based off of the fact that you looking at somebody, your first show that you throw, and this outside of hip hop and it's outside of music, but you're involved in the music.
Right.
You're gonna have it the way you got somebody that's gonna bring out a bunch of people. And I know a lot of different artists, but he's the first person that came to mind. Whereas he got a base, he has other artists, and those artists have a base. So I'm like, if he bringing people with him to perform, and this is a wrestling match, like.
And now he has his son. His own son has a group called the Ignorant Idols. Yeah. So you know, like I said, I think that it's beyond like kismet. if you wanna say that word, like people are like, what the hell is that word? They go look it up. I can't explain it. but you know, so that's like I'm trying. I think it's this guy. His name is Christopher Evans.
Oh, I know him.
Ghost.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah. I met him through the music scene, and then like I said, I was watching and it was like
music is okay. Wrestling, I hate to say it about him, but he sucks. But I never thought he was actually good at wrestling. Music wise, I think he's pretty decent. I've been to one of the shows he had out there near off of was it Fayette Street, I think. One little coffee place, one little shop they had. It looks like a dungeon or something, whatever. But it's like but I went to one of his rap shows.
Was it the Sidebar?
Yeah, Sidebar. That's what it was.
I got to do it.
We got into a fight at the Sidebar. Yeah.
No, that was Autobahn I'm thinking of. Is that Sidebar or Autobahn?
Sidebar is right there, like Paparazzi is right here, and Sidebar is over here. Yeah, Autobar is right over here on Howard Street.
Okay, that was Autobar we performed. I went there with Icon and Rizzy one year. This is like when we did
Sidebar, it's downstairs and it's kind of like doom and gloom and dungeony because Voice was performing there.
Yeah, I remember Voice.
And we were in one of the guys I call my little brother Eddie. Some dude was there that he used to be friends with, but they're not friends anymore because of something happened with a chick and like he wanted to fight him, but then when they realized that Eddie wasn't by himself, and everybody kept handing me their stuff, I was like, I want to throw fists too, damn it! It was like, no. I was like, yes.
Was you at the Tom show at the Depot?
I was drunk.
Oh, you was drunk. Was you there at the beginning, or did you come a little late? Because you might have been there when that incident happened.
It was outside, right?
I got a dude snatched my little cousin Mike.
I was inside because it was Jay McGraw, Taz Spitter, and Queen Fiend and me.
It was all at the bar.
And I was at the bar too.
I rolled up, it was Jay looked and Taz looked, and it was, oh shit, they just moved out the way.
And Taz was getting ready to get up, and I said, "No, sit down." And he was like,
I peeped that because he was like, me up, was like, "Yo, Taz pulled me up, was like, yo, you good." I understood the situation because I know Jay. Like, Jay sit back, like if it's his artist, Jay, like, and this is the one thing this is the reason why I went and pulled Jay up because I had to like really apologize to Jay, like. Team Jacob was Team Jacob, but we were some assholes towards Jay. And it was,
at least you can admit it.
I can admit that. Like, and this is the crazy part. Like, I apologized to Jay before, but it was other stuff that took place with my camp, and it wasn't all bad, but you know what I mean? It was, I had to recognize something. Karma is karma. Like, what you put out is what you get back, and it was, all right, this is why I'm getting the actions that I'm getting. I carried Joe this way, and your intentions was to, I'm trying to help y'all, and it was, man, I ain't trying to hear that. We wanted this and that.
But that night, that's the night that I blacked out. I took over 600 pictures.
Oh, that's right, you was there because you was drunk as hell that night because Taz took you home, or you took Taz home.
No, Taz took me home, and I cussed him out the whole damn time. I told him,
I remember that night. That was the night Fee walked up. We like she walked up. She in the middle of the set. She walked up and she grabbed my chain. Like I didn't know if it was. You know, because me and Jay had our friction at the time. It wasn't no bad friction, but it's a competition. It's hip-hop. So she walked over and she grabbed my chain, so my wife jumped out there, and it was hold up. Like the minute say, yo, we got a problem. Like, that shit was crazy.
But yeah, I was drunk that night.
That was a crazy night.
I took 600 pictures and only don't remember 400 of them. So yeah, it was a good night. It was a good night.
It was a good night. And then, yeah, I mean, the crazy didn't, it didn't happen because it was, me and Manny had Drake pool. It was an incident that took place with somebody came with him and my cousin. You know what I mean? But the funny part was, Joe was so drunk. It was some of his people that was trying to fight Joe.
My shit just died. But